Right, so on today's what to cook on a boat that's easy and you can have in a tin, I'm going to try and make steak and potato pie, or meat and potato pie. So obviously same rules as always, we're all using things that we can store on the boat long term, and ingredient one is going to be this here. So it's beef that's stored in a tin. I can only find this in one supermarket in France, but it's your equivalent if you're watching from like the UK of stewed steak. So that is stewing in the wok. Why am I using the wok? I'm not too sure. I tend to use it for everything. But yeah, that's stewing in there. And then you want to make sure you stew it for long enough that the meat separates from any big pieces of fat like that, because you don't want that in there, because I've used this before, that's not nice. If you really want to eat it separately, be my guest, but it will ruin your pie. We're trying to make nice food on a budget, so eat it separate, but don't put it in the pie. If I'd have thought ahead that I was going to do this, I would have had either a Guinness or an ale, and I'd have cooked that whilst cooking this in the same pan. Then we would have had a steak and ale pie, but I don't have any on board, so that's an optional add-on. I'll let you into a little secret. I've never actually made pastry before, but as far as I know, you add flour, butter, pinch of water and a bit of salt. That's what we're going with. Right, let's hope that's right. I'm going to add the water slowly, because if I have no more flour, and if I add too much water now, it's game over. Looks like pastry to me, smells like pastry. So that's, let's see how that works out. So now that's been on the boil for like, I don't know, about 15 minutes. The meat is separated from them bits of fat quite easy, and there are only really 2 bits in there. So now we have meat, and we're going to get that back in the pan too. Whether to or whether to not add an onion. I can't decide. I'm not going to add an onion, but I am going to add some peas. Now, I really aren't a fan of tinned peas, especially here in France. It's like, you're looking at like €1 for a tin of tinned peas, and they're not good, are they? Let's be honest. So what I tend to use instead, mainly because it's a lot cheaper, is these dried half peas, whatever they are. So I'm going to put some of them in too, just to add a little bit more, or quite a bit more protein too. So some of them are going to go in. Next in the pan, you want some salt, pepper and some meat stock. Ideally beef, but I've only got lamb stock on board at the minute, so lamb it is. For now, I've stopped trying to video me cutting things, because every time I try it the camera falls over. I get frustrated, and it's a sharp knife too, and it's rolly in the anchorage. So get that chopped up. You have your potatoes and the sun. Oh. There you have your potatoes. So you can peel them if you want. I ain't got time for that, so I've not peeled them, but yeah, they can go in. Before I re-add some water and bring all that back up to the boil, that's how we're currently looking. So we've got that beef in there, all the fat's off it, potatoes, and then peas have started to undry now too. Then you want to add some water. So that's boiling, the pastry's ready. I'm just trying to work out how I'm going to put it in the oven, because I don't have an oven dish. But for now I'm going outside where there's a bit of breeze, because it's red hot in here. Right, because that's all the flour I had, I'm just going to make a lid rather than the whole pie, because I'd rather have a thick lid. Get out the sun. I'd rather have a thick lid than a really thin entire pie. So that's going to roll out, and then once the mixture's in the bowl, that's going to sit on the top. So we're going to add a secret ingredient now that's boiling. That secret ingredient isn't that secret, it's Bisto. The reason, because we're using this rather than stewing steak that would come in a tin if you was like in the UK. This doesn't actually have any sort of gravy in it, it's beef and gelatine. So because of that, there's not enough juice comes out of the meat to create gravy. So we added the stock because as the beef was frying, we wanted that to like get in with the beef. But if we don't add that, it's just going to be a fairly soggy mixture in the bottom of the pie. So for that reason, we are going to add, not that because we already added it, some gravy. And because we're just putting a lid on, once we take the pie out and tip it upside down, I guess it will be almost like a better version of a Fray Bentos pie. And if you're wondering why I'm making this cheap pie, there is an English shop close by and they sell Fray Bentos pies for €6. This is going to have cost a grand total of about €3. So that's the hacks that I have to find. And it's a pie. Like, I look at the Fray Bentos pie sometimes and think, oh, that's tempting. But I've had to discover a way to make a pie on the boat. So a potato with all sorts growing off it. Now that we've added a bit of bisto in there, we have that nice pie mixture. So that's ready to go into the bowl. We might have actually made, this would probably do 2 pies, but I'm gonna just make one. Into the washing up bowl, bucket. Right, so mixture is in the bowl. So the lid is on. Boat pastry is optional, but if you appreciate the effort, do subscribe. And that's now ready to go into the oven. Apart from, I just need to add a bit of egg glaze. It's in the oven, it's glazed. I'm hopeful, but we need a touch more luck. So all the other boats are looking at me now like I'm conquering an alcohol addiction. Please allow my pastry to rise. So we're going to take my coral or pink, I'll let you decide, oven mitts. We're going to check the pie out. An offering to Poseidon. So I should probably be saying all of this with a little more confidence, but honestly I am winging this one. I've never made pastry before. A little peek. So I thought it might be ready in 30 minutes, but it's going to be 40. So I'll get back to you in 10 minutes. So after 40 minutes in the oven, there we have it. I'm going to fork test through the pastry. It's piping hot. And we need to find somewhere to put it so we can create a thumbnail people might actually click on. Right, without further ado, let's get it open. Maybe the trick of wine to the seeded trick. It's not so easy to cut in this bowl. Whilst trying to hold the camera in one hand. Look at that. Alright, grab myself a fork, let's see what this is like. Pastry looks good. It's going to be hot in it. That's good. That's really, really good. Subscribe for more boat meal hacks.